COP17 has come at a very critical moment for Africa because when we speak of climate change, Africa is one of the most vulnerable continents. Or the rich countries are telling the world clearly they are unwilling to be responsible for their pollution. They are unwilling to stop releasing carbon and covering up the atmosphere. They don't care if temperature rises. Perhaps they think they can escape the impact. But we are saying that although Africa is very badly hit, although we already have droughts and floods and hunger, starvation, and displacement of communities, the impact is actually global. And at the end of the day, it's in the best interest of the human race for the nations of the world to come together to reach a reasonable, legally binding agreement based on equity and fairness. The whole problem is mainly based on the continual addiction of the world to fossil fuel, to coal, to crude oil, to gas, and now to all kinds of dirty energy sources. So we will expect this conference to address that root cause. We can very readily point out what is happening in the Horn of Africa, where you have famine and droughts. I know what is going on there is because of increased global warming. The Indian Ocean is actually warmer than it used to be. So rain that ought to fall on the land is now falling on the ocean. And so for over about 3 years, there's been rain failure in that part of Africa, so we have droughts. Now in other places in Africa, we're having floods. Other places, desertification, for example, in Chad and northern Nigeria. Lake Chad used to be one of the biggest lakes in Africa, but now it's almost gone because of global warming and because of the dirty polluting activities. If we go away from Durban without legally binding emissions cuts, if nations are allowed to say, well, we'll do as we please, then we're going to have such a temperature increase that may be up to 5 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial levels. And what that would mean would be massive crop failures in Africa. In fact, Africa would be more or less set on fire. We would have to relocate somewhere else. And that would be a very sad day indeed.